Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from April the 9th, the day after WrestleMania, still from the Smoothie Center in New Orleans. Well, we got birthdays from April the 7th. David Otunga, he was born 1980. April 7th, Draws, he was born 1969. April the 7th, Sanjay Dutt, he was born 1982. April the 9th, Bianca Belair from NXT. Sting tweeted a photo of himself with Lex Luger, Mr. Hughes, Mick Foley, and Rick Steiner at WrestleCon during WrestleMania weekend. Show you a picture of that. Therefore, Sasha Banks was selling her storyline with Bayley at NXT Takeover last weekend. A fan tweeted a video of Sasha asking for two fans to change seats with her so she would not have to sit next to Bayley. And that's like a new behind-the-scenes footage from WrestleMania 34 featuring Roman Reigns, Ronda Rousey, The Undertaker, Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, and others can be seen at this link. W posted a unreleased entrance video for former Raw Tag Team Champion Nicholas, who teamed with Braun Strowman to win the titles from the bar at WrestleMania 34. That was his WrestleMania moment. As noted, Nicholas is a 10-year-old son of WWE referee John Cone. Braun and Nicholas relinquished the titles on Raw later in this video. Next week's Raw will feature Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the Revival, with the winners facing the bar at the vacant titles at the April 27th greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia. As WWE has confirmed several matches for the WWE UK Title Tournament event scheduled for Royal Albert Hall in London on June 18th and 19th, the one-night tournament, to crown a new number one contender to the UK champion Pete Dunne for a title match on the second night. A six-man match with Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven versus Undisputed Era NXT Tag Team Champions Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and North American Champion Adam Cole on the first night, plus three NXT title matches to take place on the second night. Cole will defend his title, while Strong and O'Reilly will defend their titles, and NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler will defend her title. Here's the full announcement. The new contract for WWE Universal and that was a full announcement. There's a new contract for Universal Champion Brock Lesnar was made on Monday before WrestleMania 30. The Monday before WrestleMania 32 at the Go Home Raw in Atlanta, and was signed on Sunday before the match in New Orleans. There was a new deal and not an extension of the previous deal. There was a few people that knew about the new deal, and Roman Reigns, though he was winning the title until the day of the big event. The original ending to the match had Reigns coming off the ropes and getting caught with the F5, but he was to counter it into a spear for the pin and the win. They changed that finish and went with Lesnar hitting the F5 for the pin. The match went as planned, and no one went off script. Regarding the length of the new contract, Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that it's not listed as a one-match deal, but it does end before SummerSlam in August. The new deal allows Lesnar to negotiate one UFC fight while under contract with WWE, but the fight would take place after the deal expires. Lesnar's new deal also includes a significant pay raise. Lesnar is set to defend the title against Roman Reigns in a steel cage match at the April 27th Greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia. And there will likely be other dates between now and August, but the two sides will be right back where they started once it expires. It's always possible that a new deal is signed later this year. On a related note, while almost no one knew of the finish at WrestleMania, Paul Heyman was aware of who would win. The Observer, as that most talent contracts are handled by Triple H and Talent Relations, but Lesnar deals with Vince McMahon. As noted, Heyman also just signed a new short-term deal with WWE. Rumor is from the split after WrestleMania next week there will be some spoilers coming, such as when the draft happens, you get traded to a different program and you're advertised for certain events. Well, there you go. Well, main event was taped and shown as a video. Kicks off the show after the usual WWE signature. Mark Andrews and Tony Nese made their entrance as Vic Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, and Percy Watson checked in on commentary and are your announcers. Mark Andrews versus Tony Nese. They locked up. Nese sent Andrews to the corner. Nese strikes Andrews several times. Andrews ducks a clothesline attempt by Nese. Andrews hits a pair of arm drags on Nese. Nese kicks Andrews in midsection. Andrews drop kick Nese. The fight spills out of the ring as Andrews nails a moonsault off the top of the second turnbuckle onto Nese at ringside. Andrews rolls Nese back in the ring and drops Andrews onto his knee. Nese pins Andrews for a 2 count. Nese strikes Andrews with an elbow. Nese pins Andrews for a 2 count. Nese briefly locks in a torture rack. Andrews elbows Nese and Andrews kicks Nese. Andrews hits a bulldog on Nese. Andrews pins Nese for a 2 count. Andrews then drives both of his knees into Nese. Nese hits a forearm on Andrews. Nese rolls Andrews up for a 2 count. Andrews then rolls through and stomps Nese. Andrews goes to the top rope. Andrews nails a shooting star press on Nese, and Andrews pins Nese for the win. A recap of Jeff Hardy and Finn Balor and Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins defeating The Miz, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel on Raw was shown. A recap of Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe verbal confrontation from Raw was shown. Callisto Grand Metallic and Lince Dorado made their entrance. TJP, Jack Gallagher, and Ari DeVere made their entrance. Callisto Grand Metallic and Lince Dorado versus TJP, Jack Gallagher, and Ari DeVere. Dorado and DeVere started the match. DeVere locks in a wrist lock on Dorado. Dorado hits a snap mirror on DeVere. Dorado then drop kicked DeVere. Dorado tries to pin DeVere and only gets a 1 count. DeVere back Dorado in the corner. Gallagher tags in. Gallagher stops on Dorado. After several pin exchanges, Dorado ducked a clothesline attempt by Gallagher before splashing him as well. Dorado then pins Gallagher for a 2 count. Callisto tags in. Callisto kicks Gallagher. Gallagher slams Callisto to the mat. Callisto nails an arm drag on Gallagher. Callisto then goes to the second rope. Gallagher pulls Callisto off the rope, and follows a distraction from DeVere. DeVere is tagged in, heading into a commercial break. Gallagher pulls Callisto to the mat after the commercial break. Gallagher snaps the elbow of Callisto before pinning him for a 2 count. DeVere is tagged in. Gallagher and DeVere hit double suplex on Callisto. DeVere then goes up to the top turnbuckle. Callisto moves out of the way of a splash attempt by DeVere. TJP is then tagged in as is Metallic. Metallic hits a arm drag on TJP as Metallic drop kicks TJP. Gallagher and DeVere break up a pin attempt by Metallic on TJP. Dorado hits a back handstring into a double stunner on Gallagher and DeVere. Gallagher and DeVere roll out of the ring. Dorado and Callisto ascend the turnbuckles. Callisto dives onto Gallagher as Dorado dives onto DeVere at ringside. TJP then rolls Metallic up for a 2 count. Metallic fights his way out of a detonation kick attempt by TJP. Metallic super kicks TJP. Nails a bulldog on TJP and ascends to the turnbuckle himself. Metallic then elbow drop for the top rope on TJP and pins him for the 3 count. A recap of physical altercation between Ronda Rousey and Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon was shown from Raw. A recap of Shinsuke Nakamura interfering in a match between Daniel Bryan and WWE Champion AJ Styles on SmackDown Live was shown to close the show. Post WrestleMania 34 edition of Raw opened up live from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Michael Colesaw welcomes us to the show, joined in by Corey Graves and Jonathan Coachman. We go right to the ring. Out comes Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon as the boos start. JoJo introduces her. Stephanie slowly walks to the ring and sells the beating from Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34. Her arm is in a sling. We see stills from the match. Stephanie is in Stephanie in an armbar. Rousey standing tall with Kurt Angle after their win over Stephanie and Triple H. Stephanie enters the ring and takes a mic, but a loud "You tapped out" chant starts for the crowd. Stephanie admits she expected a little more from the people here. They boo her more. Stephanie knows that the crowd the night after WrestleMania has a little bit different international flavor. which could smell on the way to the ring. She mentions how other crowds would have some sympathy. They chant, "You tapped out again." Stephanie says they're saying she tapped out, but everyone had to admit that they were surprised by one woman last night for the transition she made. Stephanie says that woman is her. She thanked the fans for the props. Stephanie says she knew she could show everyone what Rousey is made of if she brought her into this world. Stephanie thanks the crowd again and says she deserves that pat on the back. Stephanie introduces Rousey next, and out she comes as her music hits. Rousey gets a big pop and enters the ring. Stephanie admits that the better woman won last night. Fans chant Rousey's name. Stephanie says she was a spectator. She was spectacular. She goes on with praise for Rousey and says she really is a role model for women and everyone else. Stephanie says she got beat by the best in the world. Stephanie says with Rousey's talent and Stephanie's spotlight, there's nowhere they can't go together. Stephanie can put the WWE machine behind her, and they will really go places. Stephanie says with her in Rousey's corner, people will really support her and believe in her. Fan chant bullcrap, or BS, I should say. Stephanie says Rousey is smarter than the people because she's a businesswoman, and she knows that the talents need the office. Stephanie goes on and says that she's paid the price last night. Fans chant, shut the F up at Stephanie. Stephanie just has one more thing to say. She asks the fans to give it up for her friend, WWE's Ronda Rousey. Rousey is still smiling. Stephanie approaches for a handshake, and they shake in the middle of the ring. They also hug as the fans boo. The expression on Rousey's face changes as she grabs Stephanie from the hug. Rousey drops Stephanie into the armbar as Stephanie pleads with her, and fans cheer. Rousey breaks a hold, and officials run out to check on Stephanie. Rousey stands tall and shrugs as her music starts back up. Rousey then makes her exit as we go to replays. Stephanie turns around and waves to the crowd from the stage. We see the medics sitting to Stephanie while she's still down on the mat. Fans chant, "You deserve it," after Rousey's music stops. Stephanie is helped out of the ring, and the fans sing goodbye to her. As JoJo asks the crowd to please show a little respect for Stephanie, and the boos even got louder. We go to the announcers, and they hypen the crowd and wonder why the crowd would be like this. They give us warning about the post-WrestleMania crowd and how they might act tonight. Something they've been warned for about 2 to 3 years in a row now. Still to come segment. Roman will be here. Also, new Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins and new Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss has demanded an opportunity to prove why Jax is not in her element. We go to commercial. Back from the break, we see stills from WrestleMania 34. Nia Jax and Ember Moon versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. That's what they said. Back from the break, out comes new Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax. Fan chant, "You deserve it" to her. Her partner is out next. Alexa Bliss is out next with Mickie James. Bliss talks about how Jax is just a big bully who likes to throw her weight around. Bliss makes fat jokes, and the crowd responds with a-hole chant. Bliss says she lost last night because she was distraught over Jax beating up Mickie for no reason. Bliss says she lost because she's a compassionate woman and was competing under emotional distress when she saw what happened to Mickie. Bliss then says everyone in the back knows Jax is cold inside, and that's why she has no partner tonight. Jax tells Bliss to shut up. Jax says Bliss is right. She enjoyed every second of the beating that she gave last night. Jax announces that she's our new Raw Women's Champion, and the fans cheer. Jax says Bliss is wrong about tonight because she does have a partner. Oh, yeah. And her name is debuting from NXT, Ember Moon. Fans pop as a former NXT champion makes her way out just 2 nights after losing the title to Shayna Baszler at the Takeover New Orleans event. Back from the break, Jax goes at it with Mickie, taking control in the corner. Fan chant for Moon. Bliss tags in and works over Jax in the corner, yelling at the referee. Coleslaw says that he heard rumors on Bliss and Mickie lobbying to go to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup. Jax grabs Mickie and Bliss at once and headbutts Bliss. She grabs Mickie and yanks her around, saving her for Ember. Ember tags in and unloads her Mickey. Moon with a neck breaker and a suplex as the fans cheer. Crowd's going wild for Ember. Mickey nails a kick and tags in Bliss. And by the way, she's from Texas. Bliss charges, but Ember fights her off and fans chant for NXT. Moon with a step-up insecurity. Moon with more offense and a sloppy crossbody from the second rope for a 2 count. Moon keeps control and goes up top. Moon nails the Eclipse on Bliss for the pin. Winners the match, Ember, Moon, and Nia Jax. After the match, Moon and Jax stand tall. As Moon's music hits, Jax raises her arm as we go to replays. Raw General Manager Kurt Angle backstage on the phone with somebody. Angle says Ember is the spark the Raw Women's Division needs. He says the Superstar shakeup is next week, but they're getting started early. He teases more surprises later, but finishes his call when Raw Tag Team Champion Braun Strowman walks in. His partner Nicholas, who is son to referee John Cone, is also there. Braun reveals that they are relinquishing the titles. Well, I didn't get to see that part of it. My feed was out. Didn't come back in till later. When the next match was up, coming back on. But they relinquished the titles. As they said that he has to be in school the next day. He's only in 4th grade. So as soon as he's done, they're coming back for the titles. Nicholas promises someone will get these hands. We get a teaser for No Way Jose back from NXT. Back to commercial. We got No Way Jose versus John Skyler. Probably a jobber. John Skyler back from the ring. Out comes No Way Jose. Another call up from NXT. Jose has his conga line with him, and they hang around at ringside to watch the match. NXT enhancement talent John Skyler makes his Raw debut as well. Already in the ring. Jose strikes first and hits the big wind-up knockout punch for the quick win. You might want to say, no way, Jose. Squash match. After the match, Jose celebrates with the conga line around ringside as his music hits. Didn't somebody else used to do that kind of, the guy with the bunny? Forgot his name. The Bar approaches Kurt Angle backstage. They want their titles back since Braun and Nicholas have relinquished them. Angle says there's no way he's giving them back because they lost to a 10-year-old. Angle announces a set of tag team matches called the Tag Team Eliminator to determine who will face the Bar on April 27th in Saudi Arabia for the vacant titles. Tag Team Eliminator match was up next. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Club, versus the Revival. Back from the commercial, the match is already underway. The winners of this match will face the winners of another match to be held tonight. On next week's show, the winner of that match will face the Bar in Saudi Arabia. We see Cesaro and Sheamus backstage watching. Luke Gallows fights off Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, but they end up double teaming him. Carl Anderson tries to cut them off, but can't. Things calm down some with Dash focusing on Gallows' leg. Gallows sends Dash back into the corner hard. Dawson comes in and stops the tag, then goes back to work on Gallows. Anderson finally gets a tag and unloads. Anderson sends Dash to the floor and launches himself onto him. Anderson and Dawson both go at it. Anderson with a close 2 count as Dash breaks up the pin. Gallows takes out Dash, but he also goes down. Anderson then rolls up Dawson for a 2 count. Anderson doesn't see a tag, and the finish has Revival double team Anderson with a Shatter Machine for the win. Revival advances to next week. After the match, the Revival stand tall as we go to replays. I did read the advertisement for Saudi Arabia has the Hardys versus the Bar. So there's your spoiler for that. But that's not correct, as you will find out later. Only one Hardy. After, the announcers lead us to a video promo for the World Wish Day with John Cena. Still to come, Seth Rollins is here. Back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. Rollins hits the ring and the fans chant, "You deserve it," at him. Rollins comments on that being the loudest burn it down he's ever heard. Fans chant, "Burn it down" again. Rollins says after last night's match at WrestleMania 34, he can finally say that Seth freaking Rollins is back. Fans chant, "Yes, for him. As Rollins says the crowd is wild and a lot of fun tonight, Rollins admits the Grand Slam Rollins has a nice ring to it. Fans chant Grand Slam Rollins to him now. Rollins says he finally caught up to Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and every member of the Shield is now a Grand Slam champion, which is cool. Rollins goes on, but the music interrupts and out comes Finn Balor. Balor speaks on the way to the ring and says he has something to get off his chest, something that he's been thinking about all day. Rollins welcomes him to the ring. Fans do the too sweet chant. Now, Balor congratulates Rollins and says he deserves it. Fans chant you deserve it to interrupt again. Balor says Rollins was a better man last night, but last night was a triple threat with The Miz. There was a winner, there was a loser, and then there was Balor. Left wanting more, Balor says he came out to be the first person that steps up and challenges Rollins for the title. Fan chant yes again. They shake on it in the middle of the ring, but the music hits. Out comes former champion The Miz with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Miz says he is more than happy to interrupt this celebration. He wants to be the first to say Rollins does not deserve this. Fan chant a-hole at Miz. Miz says he deserves it because he made the IC title match, the IC title, the most prestigious title in WWE. Miz says he walked to the ring by himself last night because he knew if the Mr. Rods came with him, he would never hear the end of it. When he beat Rollins and Balor, Rollins asks if Miz just admitted that he can't win without the Mr. Rods. Miz goes on and says he's now a changed man. He became a father to a beautiful daughter 2 weeks ago. Balor and Rollins congratulated him. Miz says he's realized that everything he does now affects his daughter's life. Miz claims Maurice and his daughter watched the match last night, and she cried when Miz lost the title. Fans boo as Miz says Rollins made his little princess cry, which made his wife cry. Miz says he's man enough to admit that them crying made him cry. Rollins admits he's proud of the Miz for admitting he cried, because that's what everyone does when they try to watch Miz wrestle. Rollins says Miz won't be getting a title shot because as good as he thinks he is, he can't lace Rollins' boots. Miz tells Balor to go to the back, to get to the back of the line because he's due a rematch. Rollins says if Miz would like to cash in on his rematch clause, they can do it right here, right now. Fans chant yes as Miz hypes the match up, but says it's not happening now. Miz says he's wearing a custom suit and will be getting the rematch when he wants at the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view. This leads to a tag team match being made. Balor and Rollins get ready to go, but the music interrupts and out comes Jeff Hardy to a big pop. Jeff stands with Rollins and Balor. The two sides face off as the crowd pops. Dallas and Axel and Miz leave the ring to booze. Jeff's music starts back up as he stands tall with Rollins and Balor. Miz and the Miz Rods watch from the ramp. So we got Jeff Hardy making his in-ring return after his injury and shoulder from his recent car accident. Still to come, Roman Reigns is here. Also Sasha Banks versus Mandy Rose. We go back to commercial. Hardy, Balor, and Rollins versus Miz and the Mr. Rods is confirmed for later. Mandy Rose versus Sasha Banks was up next. After a break, we see Absolution's Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville waiting in the ring. Sasha was out next. The match is about to begin, but the music hits. Out comes Bayley. It looks like she's out to watch Sasha's back, but Sasha looks confused. The bell rings and Sasha tosses Rose out to the floor. Banks with a baseball slide to knock her back. Banks brings Rose back in and tackles her for some strikes. Banks with more offense and a 2 count. Banks keeps Rose grounded. Sasha keeps control as Rose tries to fight back. Rose finally drops Sasha over the top rope and poses as she's down. We go to commercial with Rose standing tall. Back with right, Sasha with more offense to turn it around. Banks with a drop kick. Banks goes up top and hits a flying knee to the face for another 2 count. What is this? Everybody's stealing Nakamura's moves. Knee to the face. Banks takes Rose to the floor, but Rose drops her. Referee counts. Deville and Paige approach Bayley from behind. Bayley charges at Rose with a clothesline, but Rose moves and Bayley clotheslines Banks instead. Rose takes advantage and brings Banks back into the ring. Bayley is apologizing for what happened. Rose floors Banks with a big knee and covers for the pin. After the match, Absolution stands tall in the ring as Paige's music hits. Bayley walks up the ramp and looks upset. As Sasha recovers and looks on, Banks follows Bayley up the ramp as we get a replay of what happened. Paige takes the mic and says, "Some of us know this, but some don't." It hurt her to watch the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal from the sidelines because she was born to do this. She lives for this. Paige says she is unable to compete in the ring due to injuries. She said this is the hardest thing she's ever had to do. Fan chant, "Thank you, Paige." Now, Paige says that she would like to thank every female superstar in the back, as she's proud to be a part of this division. She says we all have built the division to be huge, but to be something they never thought it would be. She thanks them again. She also wants to thank her family because she wouldn't be here without them. She thanks Daniel Bryan for returning at WrestleMania and giving her something else, giving her hope. She also thanks the WWE Hall of Famer Edge, who she's talked to this weekend and helped her see that there is more to life than this. As bad as it hurts her, she now has to go find something else. Paige thanks WWE for allowing her to entertain all of us for the past 4 years. She recalls debuting in New Orleans 4 years ago to win the Divas title, and 4 years later, she's retiring in New Orleans. Paige then thanks the fans, and the thank you page starts up again. Fan chant, this is your house now." Paige thanks them again and says she loves them. She says, yes, this will always be her house. Paige leaves the mic and a shirt in the ring, and she leaves to a pop. She stops on the stage and waves before heading to the back. So to come segment, a look back at The Undertaker defeating John Cena back to commercial. Back from the break was he steals from The Undertaker versus John Cena at WrestleMania 34. Coach Law said that this man is back with a vengeance. We go to the ring and JoJo introduces Elias. He's in the ring with a spotlight and the guitar. Elias plays some, and then there's no doubt after last night that WWE stands walk with Elias. Elias says he has become the musical face of WWE in 1 year. Elias says that the people paid to see an Elias performance at WrestleMania. Fans break out in a louder soccer-style chant for Elias. Elias goes on with a song. Taking shots at the fans, the music interrupts, and out comes former world champion Bobby Lashley to a huge pop. So a lot of returns tonight on this week's Raw. Lashley enters the ring and faces off with Elias. As the fans chant welcome back at him, Elias looks to go after him, but Lashley nails a neckbreaker. Lashley then lifts Elias and holds him in the air for about 30 to 45 seconds with one arm suplex, then slams him to the mat. As Lashley makes his exit, as his music hits, and the crowd pops. Kurt Angle's backstage talking about this wild night of Raw with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come in looking for a job. Angle mentions how his tag team division is full, but he heard TNA is hiring. Owens and Sami roll their eyes. Owens says he has kids and he's just looking for an opportunity. From one father to another, Sami just wants a shot too. Angle says he has one spot and they can wrestle for it tonight. Take it or leave it. They walk off and thank Angle. Next up, we got Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Authors of Pain, who's also from NXT making their debut. We go to the ring and Heath Slater is in the ring with Rhino. Slater rants about needing this job because he has kids. They issue a challenge to any tag team to come out to face him. Music hits, out comes former NXT Tag Team Champions Authors of Pain for their call-up. As WWE Hall of Famer Paul Ellering is with them. The bell rings and Rezar starts off with Slater. Slater unloads and gets tackled. Rezar with strikes. Cam tags in and comes off the second rope with a big stomp. Rezar ends up knocking Rhino off the apron to the floor. Cam tags in and the Authors hit the last chapter for the easy win. After the match, Authors leave and Ellering walks behind them, but they stop him. They keep walking without him, and he looks shocked. Ellering has apparently been fired. We go to replays from the quick match, and Cam and Rezar stand tall on the stage and raise their fists in the air. The angry Ellering looks on from ringside. Still to come, Roman Reigns is here. Back from the break, out comes Roman Reigns to a mixed reaction. Reigns is moving slower than usual to sell the WrestleMania 34 beating from Brock Lesnar. Reigns starts to speak, and the boos pick up some. He says we can see that he got his butt beat last night, but he's here tonight, and he can tell us this much. Brock Lesnar isn't here. Reigns says, to be honest, he still doesn't know what happened yesterday. He got to the Superdome and everything felt off. Everyone looked at him differently and there were whispers. Reigns says Vince McMahon couldn't even smarten up, but he does know that Brock is one hell of a businessman. Reigns says word got out on Wednesday that Brock was going back to UFC, but WWE announced today that Lesnar has signed a new deal with WWE. Reigns says he found out on the internet that he was booked in a steel cage match with Lesnar. Reigns says he doesn't know what's going on, but he does know that if they keep putting him in matches with Lesnar, it will end with him becoming the Universal Champion. Reigns drops the mic and the music hits, and out comes Samoa Joe, making his return from his injury. Fans chant Joe's name as he marches to the ring. Joe mocks Reigns for thinking there's a conspiracy. Joe says Lesnar didn't just beat Reigns last night, he exposed him. Joe says no matter what went on, Reigns failed, and that makes him a failure. Fans chant failure now. Joe says the loss also makes Reigns a liar. He lied to the fans, his family, and himself because he can't admit that he always gets jacked up when he gets in the ring with Lesnar. Reigns gets broken while Lesnar gets richer. Joe goes on and says the cycle will soon end as Joe will be waiting at Backlash to put Reigns to sleep after Lesnar drags him around the cage in Saudi Arabia. Joe's music hits and he marches to the back as the fans chant his name. And Reigns watches. But he teased coming back several times. At my time is what he said. I will face you on my time. Still to come, our six-man match, plus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, who will Titus Worldwide face in a tag team eliminator match? We'll find out soon. Back to commercial. Tag team eliminator match, Matt Hardy and tag team partner Bray Wyatt versus Titus Worldwide. Back from the break, and Apollo is out with Titus O'Neil. Dana Brooke is also out with him. The winners of this match will face a revival next week to determine Barr's opponent for vacant titles in Saudi Arabia. Matt Hardy appears on the big screen with some woken wisdom, but he and Bray Wyatt then suddenly appear in the ring together. And we've got a new tag team. Matt starts off with Titus as they do the Wyatt family gimmick, going to the ring with the fireflies and the cell phones and what have you. With Wyatt on the floor and Matt carrying the lantern. Well, we come back from a commercial break. Apollo was already out with Titus. Danny Brooke was out with him. Okay, I already said that. Matt starts off with Titus. They meet in the middle. They do the Titus Worldwide versus Delete chant off with the crowd. Back and forth between the two to start. Wyatt comes in with a clothesline to Titus. Apollo ends up coming in, but Wyatt and Matt keep control of the tags. Apollo goes to dropkick Matt, but Matt avoids it. Matt with a Delete face first shots into the turnbuckles now. Wyatt tags in and does the same as the fans chant. Matt whips Wyatt into Apollo for a big splash in the corner. Matt with a side effect on Apollo. Titus breaks a pin, but Wyatt runs in and takes out Titus. Matt calls for the Delete chants as Apollo gets up. Apollo blocks the twist of fate and drop kicks Matt. Wyatt tags in and grabs Apollo, but Apollo kicks him in the head. Apollo comes off the second rope, but Wyatt nails the Uranagi. Wyatt turns upside down in the corner for his gator crawl. As Matt gets him hyped up, Wyatt grabs Apollo for the Sister Abigail, and Matt comes in. Wyatt launches Apollo into Matt using the Sister Abigail hold, and Matt drops him with a twist of fate for the win. Somewhere during the match, Matt did this move on Titus, and he just puts his hand up like, stop in the name of love, but says, that was wonderful. After the match ends, Matt's music hits, and he and Wyatt pose together in the middle of the ring. And we see more pictures from Ronda Rousey's debut at WrestleMania. We also get a look back at the opening segment with Rousey and Stephanie. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens was up next. Back from the break, we go to the ring as Kevin Owens is out first. Sami Zayn was out next as former SmackDown superstars fight each other for a Raw contract. They are officially gone from the Blue brand after losing to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon after WrestleMania 34 last night. The bell rings and Sami immediately goes for a haluva kick, but Owens moves. Aggressive back and forth action between the two. Sammy ends up hitting one dive to the floor, but he goes for another. And Owens runs in and floors him. Sammy turns it back around, but Owens works him over and brings it back in. Owens with more aggressive offense and 3 straight pin attempts. We go to commercial with Owens in control. Back from the break, Sammy avoids a shot, but Owens super kicks him. Sammy turns it back around and slams Owens for a 2 count. Sammy then goes to the floor and charges for the signature DDT through the bottom 2 ropes, but Owens meets him with a super kick. Owens takes back control and hits a corner cannonball. Owens goes up top. Nails a big frog splash for a 2 count. We see Kurt Angle watching backstage on a monitor. Owens with a clothesline in the corner. He prepares for another, but Sammy hits him with a hula kick. Instead, Owens falls to the apron to avoid a pin. Fan chant, fight forever now. Sammy looks to keep control, but Owens catches him in a pop-up powerbomb. Owens falls out to the floor as the referee counts. He's slow to get back into the ring, but he does go to the top, yelling about needing this. Sammy jumps up and kicks Owens while he's on the top turnbuckle. Sammy goes for a superplex, but Owens counters to drive Sammy down into the mat for a big pop. Both superstars are down as the fans rally. Referee counts them both out as they fail to get up before the 10 count. Double count out. So neither superstar are on Raw as of yet. After the bell, JoJo announces neither man won, so they will not be joining Raw. Fans chant TNA at them. They get back to their feet. We see Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins backstage walking, preparing for their match. Onto the ring. Jeff stops, and he sees Matt Hardy. Matt is glad to see Jeff has gotten over his broken condition. Jeff says he tried to call Matt and left a voicemail, but it probably got deleted. As Matt was training for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Matt says he won because of Bray Wyatt. Wyatt appears and greets Brother Nero. He even calls him Brother Nero. They embrace, and Wyatt says he feels wonderful. Jeff laughs at Matt, and Wyatt walk off together. Balor and Rollins ask what was that all about, but Jeff just shrugs and walks off. Miz, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas versus Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins is up next. We go to ring. Out comes the Miz, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas for tonight's main event. Back to commercial. Back to the break, and Sasha Banks versus Bayley is confirmed for next week's Raw, along with the Revival versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. We go to the ring. See, they've already announced that match, so they spoiled it during the Raw. Okay, no, they didn't spoil it. The match just happened. Good. We go to ring. Out first comes Jeff Hardy for his team. New Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins is out next. Finn Balor was out last. Bell rings and Rollins starts off with Miz. Miz immediately changes his mind and tags in Axel. Axel gets the upper hand and tags in Dallas. Rollins fights off of a double team and drops Dallas. Jeff eventually gets the tag and ends up hitting Poetry in Motion to Dallas in the corner. Jumping off Balor's back, Dallas is down as Balor. Rollins and Hardy stand tall in the ring. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Balor is unloading with offense. Miz gets knocked off the apron. Balor drops Dallas and nails a stomp to the gut as Jeff cheers him on. Balor drops Dallas again and covers for a 2 count. Miz distracts Balor, allowing Dallas to take advantage of and take Balor down. Miz tags in and stomps away on Balor while he's down. Miz with a big knee to the face for a close 2 count. Again, they're stealing Nakamura's move. Knees to the face. Miz keeps Balor grounded. Miz keeps control and covers for another 2 count. Miz talks some trash to Rollins and Jeff. Axel tags in and tosses Balor, then taunts his partners. Axel drops more blows and keeps Balor down. Dallas comes in and drops a bunch of knees on Balor for a 2 count. Dallas with more offense and keeping Balor grounded. Balor fights up and reaches for a tag, but Dallas cuts him off. Dallas misses a big boot and Balor back drops him. Miz with a cheap shot to Rollins. Miz comes in and tries to roll Balor up, but Balor nails him. Balor finally tags in Jeff as Miz tags in Axel. Jeff unloads on Axel and hits an inverted atomic drop. Jeff with a leg drop between the legs. Classic Hardy style. Hardy goes on and covers for a 2 count. Fan chant for Brother Nero as Jeff goes to work on Axel. Axel blocks a twist of fate and sends him into the corner. Dallas tags in for a double team on Jeff, but he fights him off. Jeff goes to the top and hits a Whisper in the Wind on the Misterods. Rollins tags in now and unloads, booting the Miz and hitting him with a blockbuster. Rollins does a suicide dive to the floor, sending Axel into the barrier. Rollins returns to the ring and sends Miz to the floor. Miz runs the ropes and hits another big dive on all 3 opponents. Fans pop and chant, "Burn it down," as Rollins stands tall on the floor. Miz ends up meeting Rollins with a strike from the apron. Rollins goes to the mat and sells it. Miz goes to the top, but Rollins leaps up and nails the superplex. Rollins holds it and rolls through for the Falcon Arrow, but Bo breaks the pinfall at 2. Balor runs in and hits the sling blade on Bo. Balor clotheslines Axel over the top rope. Balor runs the ropes and nails a dive onto the Mr. Oz for a big pop. Miz then rolls Rollins up, but it's countered. Rollins nails the blackout curve stop on Miz for the pin and the win. Winners of the match, that's Rollins, Jeff Hardy, and Finn Balor. After the match, Rollins' music hits, and the babyfaces stand tall. Jeff hits Bo with a twist of fate, and Balor comes right back behind him with a coup de grace. Jeff goes up top for the swanton on Dallas. Rollins nails the blackout on Dallas. Rollins super kicks Axel, and Balor goes up top for the coup de grace on Axel. Jeff goes back to the top and nails the swanton to Axel. Fan chant, "Burn it down" again as Rollins gets hyped up. Rollins nails the blackout to Axel, and that's it for the beatdown on this as the music hits. We go to the announcers hyping for next week's 2-day Superstar Shake-Up event. Goes on, thanks to everyone for WrestleMania 34 week and as Raw goes off the air. And I did not get any results for the dark match main event. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on RB. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.